Let's turn this music down. Hello. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back for another round of editing. This time we're going to be doing a different video. So if you've joined on previous editing videos, editing streams, the last one that we did on stream, the only one that we've done on stream, was about the neuroscience of the ketogenic diet. That's not what we're doing today. Today, we are going to be doing a video about the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is kind of fun. So I wasn't totally anticipating streaming tonight, but you know, I had some plans that got canceled, and figured might as well hop on for a little bit just for fun, do some work, get the beginning part done, or at least started, and go from there. And since I haven't worked on this yet, you'll get to see it from the ground floor. So give me 1 second. There we go. Just wanted to send out about this. Oh, you know what? Let me do something here real quick. Okay, never mind. All right, so, hey, Animal Fort, how's it going? Glad that you're here. You're incompetent? No. Well, we're all incompetent, right, in one form or another. But happy to have you join in the chat. We're gonna be editing a video about incompetencies, I suppose, right? About what it is that makes us incompetent in life. You missed temple tonight? Oh, no way. Which temple exactly? But we're gonna be doing some editing, so why don't I bring you on over to, oh, not there, here. Hello. We got our nice little editing setup here. Up in the corner, up there, we got the keyboard, and the rest of the screen we got, you know, just everything that you're gonna be seeing as we're doing our work. So I've already imported my raw audio and video. So we're going to hop into editing here in just a second. Give me a moment. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything before I keep moving forward. Yeah, today's been kind of a weird day. We had some bad weather sort of swing through our location through Chicago. Just a giant storm that just hit. And it was kind of scary, to be honest. It just, like, you know, there's tons of rain, lightning, you know, the whole deal. Luckily, no tornado warnings or anything like that. But still, you know, it's I don't know. I mean, you're in a house, but like a tree could fall on your house. I've had a tree fall on my house in the past, so it's not totally outside the possibility of things that could happen. But we're gonna get into editing here. Let's see here. Oh, and thanks for all the new follows, by the way. I was noticing a bunch of folks joining. Let's see here. Let me pull that up. So we got Fragilities. Thank you for the follow. Manolia Cat. Manolia Meow. Is that like the same person? It would be very odd if both of those people followed so close together with that similar of a name. Ooga Booga, Slew the Bird, a whole bunch of people. Appreciate that. I've actually been looking at Twitch. It's interesting. I've been thinking about this. So Twitch has an interesting system for, ooh, what's going on with my green screen? There we go. Twitch has an interesting system for how they do their whole business model. So essentially, like, the way that Twitch works is you start off, you know, as nothing. You're just a person that goes and streams on their platform. If you get a big enough following, then you can become a Twitch affiliate. And at affiliate status, you get access to certain features that aren't available to you right now. So right now I'm nothing, right? I could reach this sort of affiliate status. The downside to the affiliate status, so you can make money on the affiliate status if you really wanted to do that kind of thing, whatnot. And you can do like polls, and you can create custom emojis, and you know, there's a lot of perks. But the problem with doing that is that if you become a Twitch affiliate, then you can't multi-stream, right? So I wouldn't be able to stream onto YouTube simultaneously, which it's not the, you know, it wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world if Twitch ended up being sort of a viable option. But as it is right now, most people end up watching these streams on YouTube rather than Twitch. So I'm kind of thinking like, well, it's not really worth it. Maybe someday I'll switch over. There's a level above affiliate, which is partner, but you have to be pretty big to get to that point, honestly. And I doubt that I'll ever actually get there. So anyway, just stuff that's on my mind. I don't know why I'm complaining to you guys about it, but oh, thanks for lurking. Yeah, Apex. Oh, you play Apex? I played Apex for a while. I haven't played it in a bit, but I like it. It's fun. You really like that I make videos about you, John? John, why are you? Don't be so self-deprecating, man. You gotta keep your head high, you know? You are worthy. All right, well, let's hop over. Let's get into the editing process. And is my mic too hot? Oh yeah, it's way too hot. How's that? Is that better? I feel like I was peaking a ton. And my lighting is all weird now. Yeah, that's better. All right. All right, so here we are in Premiere. We've opened it up. Got a brand new project going. What I'm gonna do is twirl down my video. Oh, before I was gonna drag and drop some stuff on here, but first thing I need to do is create a new sequence. And we'll use the same settings that we had as the last video because we're shooting in the same format. I don't really change I haven't changed the settings for anything that we've filmed for a long time. Partly just we've, dialed it in, so to speak. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not experimenting with different frame rates or anything like that. I've sort of settled on 29.97, not for any particular reason, except I feel like having the extra number of frames gives you a little bit of leniency when you're editing. Like if I really wanted to slightly slow something down, I'd be able to do that. I think it also gives slightly smoother like visuals, but I don't know. I mean, there will be people who argue the benefits of 29.97 versus 24 as an example. 24 is obviously what film is shot in typically. So anyway, we're gonna go with 29.97. Let's put in a title name here, Dunning-Kruger effect. You may have heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect. Whoa, why does this look so weird? Doesn't that look weird? Okay, well, let's try dragging some stuff in here and see how it goes. So we'll just grab all of our video and bam. And we'll keep the existing settings. All right. Hey, good morning. It is not morning here. It is quite late. It is 9:21 p.m. over here in Chicago. But Vignesh, glad that you're joining us all the way from India. That's awesome. Jam, you're doubling down on your self-deprecation. I'm telling you, man. All right. There's a saying. This is free, all right? I'm not going to charge you for this. There's a saying that I tell some of my clients sometimes, which is, you can't, how does it go? The saying goes, you can't hate yourself into loving yourself. Chew on that. All right. So first things first, let's just bring down the scale on the video here. We're gonna copy that and we're gonna apply that to all of our clips. So we got an hour and 45 minutes worth of footage that we're gonna have to edit down into just what we actually need. All right, so we've got our clips here. And now what I wanna do, so we have the music is a little bit loud, I think, for me. I'm gonna lower this just a tiny bit. So what we're gonna do, if I can, there we go. We have the camera audio. We don't want the camera audio. The camera audio is crap, all right? Like if you listen to it. After the police brought him into the station later on, they played him the tapes from the... Gross, disgusting, we hate it. Instead, we're gonna bring in our nice fancy audio. And we're gonna use that instead. Let's see if it actually matches up here. So now what I'm doing is I'm synchronizing the audio. It says it could not synchronize. This clip may not belong here. Let's see. Let's actually find out what this is. What's going on here? That sounds like me I was putting up a little screen because I noticed that the light was coming in on me. So if you look at this video, when I started filming, it was mid-afternoon, and there was some light peeking in this corner of the table. It was hitting this corner, and it started to hit my arm too, and it just blows it out, like you lose all definition. So I had to tape up a little sheet to sort of obscure the light. So let's try this one. This looks like a much longer segment, and that looks like it matches up. So let's do that. What's chat saying, huh? Hey, Macy. How you doing? I like your alien emoji. It's good for self-reflection, John. Okay. So now it is lined up. We're gonna just cut off the edge there. And now what we're gonna do is just move these over, and the audio should all line up very nicely. Let's find out. Appreciate y'all joining me on this sort of late night stream. It's funny, I was thinking about this, I was reflecting on this. If I was living in California, when I was living in California, you know, now would be the time when I would start streaming every time. Just because it's only like 7:30 there, you know, 2 hours behind. And now I'm streaming here in the Midwest, and I'm like, oh man, it's so late. But whatever. That's just how things go. Okay, let's see if all of this lines up. Let's get an actual segment where we're talking.
What the study found was that after...
There's a little bit of... it's slightly off. Let's see when that happens.
Dunning and Kruger didn't stop there.
Okay, that's decent. So did it switch here?
In the bottom quartile, just as accurate in monitoring their test performance compared to those who were in the top quartile.
Sounds fine there, actually.
Just that monitoring their test performance.
Okay, it's actually fine. All right, we're gonna cut off that edge. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut up the external audio that we recorded. We're going to grab all of the audio from the camera that's crappy, we don't like, delete that, and we're going to relink, or not relink, but we're going to link the video to the nice audio so that these stick together. So that when one moves, the other moves, because there's nothing worse than having them unlinked and you're trying to move stuff around on your timeline and suddenly your audio becomes unsynced. So we're going to do that. That's all done. Moving right along. Let's bring in the next audio clip. We got this guy. No idea how long that goes till. So we'll synchronize these. Let's see what it comes up with. Oh. Okay, that fell right into place there. So we're gonna remove the edge of that, move this over, and then what happened here? Why did I stop recording? Oh, I see.
Hold on, hold the phone.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So we're gonna cut that, and then we'll bring this guy over, and we'll bring these ones over like that. And this one might just be not even useful. Synchronize these ones like that. How are you guys doing out there tonight? What you been up to? You know, it's Tuesday, right? It's not quite middle of the week yet. Not quite hump day. I don't like saying hump day almost. You know, I know that people say it as sort of a silly, I don't know, like slightly risque thing. Oh yeah, so we do want to keep this clip. We'll keep that. Ribosome Studio. Hey, how's it going? Recently someone tried to steal both our Facebook pages with the same fake Facebook security page. I was honored that the scammer thought we play in the same league. Wait, they tried to steal... What do you mean when you say both our Facebook pages? Are you talking about you have two Facebook pages, or are you saying yours and mine? We have the same Facebook security page. That's hilarious, though. I mean, not hilarious. Scammers are annoying. I had a phone call. I'm sure you guys receive plenty of these. I got a scam phone call on my phone during the workday. When was this? Last week. And, you know, it's the same thing every time. Somebody calls, they say, "Hi, I am from Xfinity Comcast, and I'm calling because there's a problem with your internet. Your modem didn't update, and so I'm calling to help you update your modem," right? And really what's happening is they lead you through a few steps, and they get you to a point where you download a software that allows them to take control of your computer, and then they can do whatever they want, right? They could steal your passwords and information. They can scrape credit card info. They could lock your computer and say, "Until you give me money, I'm not going to give you control back of your computer." Whatever, right? They can do anything they want. Anyway, but I watched this guy. I watched this guy on Twitch who messes with scammers, and I was feeling inspired, so I talked with this guy and pretended to go along with it up until the point when he was having me download the remote desktop software, and at the very end sort of let him know what was going on. And we'd wasted probably like 20 minutes at this point. which was sort of my intention. At one point I even like put them on hold because I said that I had another phone call coming in. You know, just all sorts of stuff. It was fun. Probably not wise to do. You know, maybe he would end up targeting me and that sort of thing, and sending a bunch of phone calls my way. But I don't know. It's and I don't know. I don't understand how people can be phone scammers, you know, and do that for a living. It just seems so low. It seems like such a degrading thing to do, to cheat people who are unwitting and who are just trying to do their best out of their money, or, well, it's mostly money, I suppose. Oh, it's Wednesday there, John? Dang, well, you know, you're living in the future. Remote desktop, yeah, exactly. Mine and yours. They make fake pages and say you have to verify by clicking on a link and probably giving your password. I didn't click the link, so I don't know what the exact scam was. Wow. How did you know that? Do they send like, Wait, so they faked my Facebook page and then told you that you had to verify your page? I don't totally get it. Like, how did our page get involved in that? That's so interesting. It's very odd. Hey, Pixel. I know. It is good. You're totally right that the Google Voice number as a throwaway for messing with scammers, that is the ideal. It doesn't work as well when they're calling you, you know. I don't really want to go out of my way to like mess with scammers, but when they call and call and call over and over and over again, it gets pretty annoying. I'm usually pretty nice at first. I'll say like, hey, you know, I know what you're doing. Please remove my number from your system. And that never works. So Canada, hey, play the mind. Hey, how's it going? How's it going, man? Good to see you. Always nice to have Canadians here on stream. Okay, 1 second here. So what we're doing today, if you're just joining, is we are editing a video together. It's the new one that's going to be coming out next Wednesday, so almost a week from now. And what we're doing is we're editing a video about the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is why you see the sort of provocative title for the stream. And what I'm doing right now, I'm being a little bit lazy, but what I'm doing right now is I'm going through and I'm synchronizing all of the video and audio because we don't want the audio from the camera. So we're systematically removing that, keeping the really nice audio, which we have down here, and then pairing the video to the nice audio so that everything sounds crisp, everything sounds clean. And because let's be honest, if you have 4K video and crappy sounding audio, you messed up. Audio is like 75% of what makes a video watchable. You can have horrible video. You could have a literal potato filming you. And as long as you have decent audio, it's still viewable. It's still watchable. You may have seen this happen on streams, like when people do IRL streams or whatever, and they go walking out on the street, their video will drop and all you'll see is just a pixelated mess. But as long as the audio sticks around, it's kind of okay. You know, people will continue watching, they'll hang out, they'll wait for things to get back to normal, because it's all about the audio. But if you have horrible audio, or if the audio starts glitching out and it hurts your ears, or even if the audio just totally cuts out, and even if you have some crappy video, you're gonna be like, I'm out of here, you know? It's my 2 cents anyway. It's my hot take. This might line up way over there. John, what happens on Wednesday? Tell me. I need to know. I need to know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Tell me. Oh, I see. I see. So they have a page called Facebook Security Page Help. Facebook Secure Page Help. Very original. And they tagged our pages. Man. Well, I'm glad that you didn't fall for their tricks. Play the mind. We're using Adobe Premiere, which is just sort of the full version of Elements. And we'll also be using After Effects in a bit here too. So you'll see both of those in action. You know, if you're Elements gets it done, as you're saying, right? It's good enough for sort of the basic stuff that you need to do for editing. You know, you can totally get away with that, you know, for most stuff, I would say. If you're looking to upgrade, but you don't want to spend money, because obviously, like, Premiere, like the Adobe stuff kind of costs quite a bit. My suggestion is to switch, and I wouldn't normally say this because I've been using, you know, the Adobe suite forever, but I would switch to DaVinci Resolve. It's free. It probably has, who was that? Nick Templeton. Thanks for the subscription on YouTube. DaVinci Resolve has probably the best color correction software out there. And it's nodes based, which I don't really understand, but from what I hear from other folks, once you start to learn how to use it, it becomes pretty intuitive. But yeah, I mean, that's if I was a poor college student again during this time, or if I just didn't want to spend money every month on software, I would probably go to DaVinci Resolve. It seems like a really powerful software, and it's free, so super nice. Okay, so we have paired together all of our video and audio, which is great. This middle section, or this beginning section here, is actually going to be in the middle, and we'll be starting off with these two clips here, these clips. So, and then this is the ending. So what we're gonna do is grab these guys, move them back even more, like that. And we'll grab these and move them here. And then that way we get a nice order to everything. Not that it matters that much, but just to keep things clean for ourselves. Oh, I should bring up. I also downloaded Rowan's video, which we'll be using a section of. Yeah. Start there.
If you're like me, you know more about managing critical.
Okay.
You need any help with that? Cheers.
Okay, stop there. I'm just gonna grab that and put that in the timeline as well. The timeline. Okay, and we won't be messing with that quite yet. I more just want to throw it in there so that it is good to go and so I don't forget it. Not that I would forget it, but you never know. All right. Roach, hey, how's it going? Or is it Roch? Good question. Play the mind. I'm glad you agree about the audio. Yeah. Audio superior to video. That's my hot take. Roch or Roach? Is it Roach? Is it Roach like the horse from Witcher? Or is it Roch like Mike Roch? Anyway, it's very interesting. Your videos are brilliant. Nice work. I'm getting more into video editing lately, so I stopped by for a while. Oh, that's so nice. Well, it's pronounced rock. See, that's cool. That's nice. Okay, rock. I can get behind rock. So do you call yourself the Rock sometimes? No, I appreciate the compliments. It's really nice of you. Yeah, audio. Lewis, hey, how's it going? Happy to have you. Audio by far superior, the superior and more important part of any video. No, other people call you the Rock. Well, feels like a missed opportunity, you know, like, well, I don't know. It's your name. Could you train your cats to edit your videos in the future? See, I like where your mind is at. That is the kind of genius that we need. It's exactly the talent that we're looking for in this channel. No, of course I couldn't. Did you see how I couldn't even train them how to use the buttons properly in the last cat video. Editing it's an art. Well, maybe not. Well, I'm not going to get into it. All right, let's cut this. I'm talking too much. Let's get to an actual take. Now, I was very happy with this scene because I ended up being able to essentially do a one take. I did in one take. I went through the entire script that I had up. Oh. Pensive Pixel, thanks for the follow over on Twitch. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Okay. Alpha Toro, you have to edit it in a way that it looks like your cats are able to cut your videos. You have to edit it in a way that it looks like your cats are able to cut your videos. I'm confused by that sentence. You have to edit it in the way that it looks like your cats are able to cut your videos. You're saying I need to lower my standards? Cat editors tend to overdo it with the jump cats. Wah, 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 wah. All right. So I know that I did a really good take of this first scene here. And I'm guessing it's this guy right here. So what we're gonna do is probably just delete this whole section. So funny enough, I was filming this and then what happened? Why did I end up doing something. I needed to like switch some stuff around. Stopped recording and then I restarted. Anyway, we're gonna delete all of that because it's unnecessary at this point. Just getting ready. I had to do this so many times, and I was taking actual small sips of this whiskey. So, you know, and this is like middle of the day on a weekend, and well, anyway, I tried not to refill my glass that much, but I wasn't doing the spit takes like actors do, you know, where they have like the spit bucket or something. So I had a really good Sunday, Anyway, all right. So what I'm doing right here is in my hand, I've got my phone. That's actually going to be part of the video, but I'm also using it as a remote device. I can actually see myself in the video here, like on my phone, and position myself appropriately before going in. So that way I can actually like put the glass where I want it to be, blah, 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 all that stuff. Okay. So let's see this one shot and see how it turned out. Oh. When I was a freshman in high school, you probably can't even hear that. Let's try messing with the audio here. It's still going to be kind of quiet because of this. Let's cut this and try that again. Oh, it still is really... Where is it peaking? No idea. If I were to cut just a section of this, then what does it look like? 15, yeah, see? So let's just try artificially boosting it to like 10, just so you guys can hear it. Might be a bit loud, but we'll find out. Okay. Oh. When I was a freshman in high school, I got my first taste of video editing. Now, I'm dating myself here, but this was before everybody had, you know, a camera in their pocket. Now, don't get me wrong. I grew up around video cameras all my life, and my dad took a lot of home videos, but, well, the idea of cutting together mini DV film back then, it's not exactly easy. But around that time, digital cameras were becoming more popular and less expensive, and my older brother, who was in college, just so happened to spend a big chunk of change to get his hands on one. It was a pretty nice camera. I mean, it had a night vision mode. I never got to use it myself, but I saw how easy it was to pull those digital files onto a computer and manipulate them. And this was like mind-blowing, you know? I was obsessed with movies, and so the idea of making one just seems so cool. So, surprise, surprise, I eventually got my own digital camera. I think my parents made it a combined Christmas and birthday present that year. No night vision on this one, and if we're being honest, it was primarily a digital photo camera, but it had a movie function. So with that, I went to town. I was serious. I started making short films with my little brother in our bedroom. And then I took it a step further, and I started making short films in the living room. I made videos by myself. I made videos with friends. When I got to college, I convinced a few of my Spanish teachers to let me make a video instead of writing an essay. I started to dabble in visual effects and made stuff like this. It was at this point that I thought to myself, and excuse the language, but I thought to myself, I am the shit. I am amazing at this. I've got friends asking me to make their music videos. I'm probably one of the best visual effects artists for my age, and maybe I should change career prospects and go into film. But let's be honest. These videos, they're crap. I mean, they're cute because it's a younger version of me, but also cringe. And believe it or not, when I made these videos, I thought they were the best thing since sliced bread. I would take every opportunity to show them off to people. I was so proud of the stuff that I made, but I had zero clue of how truly incompetent I really was. Now, this changed over time. As I gained more experience through college and grad school, I started to appreciate how much there was still to learn. But it wasn't until I unabashedly entered a competition in San Diego where I had to make a film in 48 hours that reality really came crashing down. I walked out of the theater after watching everyone else's films and honestly thought that mine was by far the worst. I won 0 awards, and I thought to myself, wow, I am
completely out of my depth, and I really need to reevaluate everything I've ever made. You see, I'd fallen victim to the Dunning-Kruger effect. Put simply, the Dunning-Kruger effect is when a person wrongly overestimates their knowledge or capability in a particular area because they're just unaware of how much they do not know. In other words, incompetent people think they know everything. Kinda. It's actually a little bit more complicated than that. But to fully understand the Dunning-Kruger effect, we'll need to nerd out on some of the research that discovered this phenomenon. Cool. Not a bad take. That was pretty good. I do say so myself. I like that. So throughout this clip, what's going to happen is I'm actually going to put in footage from the videos that I'm referring to as sort of a fun little example thing. So you'll end up seeing that. But I like the pacing of it. I think it works, you know, in terms of having it be one continuous shot rather than cutting it up. And what I think I'll end up doing is start far out, right? So you get sort of an establishing shot. You see the whole scene, and then by the end, I mean, this is we went from 26 seconds to 4 minutes and 45 seconds, right? So this is quite a long clip, over 4 minutes. And so what I would like to do is by the end have it essentially totally up to full resolution, full scale, like that, right? And so what you'll get is this very slow zoom into the footage over time. So that is the plan. And I'll tell you what, let's just do that right now so that we're not forgetting to do this. We'll do 100%. And oops, I forgot to do the scale. Let's do that too. Or sorry, I forgot to do the position keyframe. And you can see I'm slightly off center. And we'll put it right about there. And then we'll just grab these keyframes and move them to the very end. So you'll see then from here, I'm getting a nice slow zoom in. And what I'll probably do is end up adding easy ease. Well, let's just do that too, for the heck of it. I don't really like, I'm going to bring this into After Effects anyway, because I'm going to be adding those other clips that I was talking about from some of my other childhood videos. So I'll just drop it into After Effects. I don't particularly like the ease function that they have within Premiere. It's pretty limited. Inside of After Effects, you can really tune it in, mess with the speed ramps, all that stuff. So we're gonna do that. Oh, I'm catching up on chats here. Pensive Pixel, you're looking forward to the Can Has Cheeseburger video edit of this video. Man, if I could train the cats how to edit my video, that'd be amazing. What if, you know how there are videos of like procedurally generated images or like text where they have like AI create a script for a movie or something like that? What if I could do that with cats? You know, where if I have them step on the keyboard enough, you know, it's sort of like the monkeys. You know, if you have an infinite number of monkeys typing on keyboards for an infinite number of years, eventually they would write some Shakespeare play or something like that, Romeo and Juliet. Like, what if you did that with cats? You know, if they just step on the keyboard enough, maybe that would be, maybe that would produce something in the end. that or my computer would explode. So, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Dude, my buddy got me some 20-year rum the other day. Had a good day as well. 20-year rum. I didn't realize that rum was aged for that long. I sort of figure that it's, you know, a younger spirit, but 20-year. That's a long time. I have a friend who does rum as well. He's gonna be hopefully opening a distillery in the next year. I don't know. Guess we'll see. Adobe Premiere looks pretty good. I got Vegas Movie Studio on Steam, and this looks much easier to use. Yeah, I haven't used Vegas ever, actually, so I can't compare. I've used Final Cut, and I don't like Final Cut since X, because of the non-linear timeline format that they've got going on. It's the same thing with like, I can't remember what year it switched, maybe like 2012 when iMovie switched over. You know, they had a timeline like this originally where it's, you know, seconds and whatnot. And then suddenly they switched it to like clips, and you just like move around the clips. Ugh, it's ugly. I hate it. I hate that like you don't have the same level of control. Anyway, the lighting looks good, strong yet natural. Any trick? Well, yes. So I shoot with a Panasonic GH4. There you go. Good camera. You know, it's it shoots 4K, which is why I got it. But the huge downfall of the GH4 and other Panasonic cameras, other mirrorless Panasonic cameras, is that they use micro four thirds lenses. And the problem with that is it lets in so much less light that it's pretty bad for low light situations. So the light that you're seeing in the video right now, this is mostly coming from bulbs, right? It's mostly coming from light bulbs and not from outside. So I end up having to very brightly light spaces just to shoot at 200 ISO. And it's kind of a pain if I'm being honest. And that's at 60. So I shoot at 200 ISO and with a shutter speed of 60. Which for most cameras, if you're working with like a full frame camera, it's no problem, right? You can, they tend to be much better at low light because the sensor is significantly larger. But with the micro four thirds, it's a smaller sensor, and so you need so much more light to make it look good. Now, if you're outside, it's no problem because the sun is amazingly bright, and you've got infinite power, infinite light there, so you can just go with that. But when you're indoors, yeah, I end up needing to add a lot of light. Here, let me show you this. Let me switch over. Look, those are the lights that I use. Now you're getting a true behind the scenes look, right? Don't you like my tape job up there? It's pretty nice, huh? So anyway, so those, I have both of those lights in there, and I have another one that is, it's not that same color. It's a slightly more yellowish color that I use to, it's more similar to like indoor lighting color, versus these ones are more of a sort of natural sunlight color. So anyway, that's more information than you were asking for, but hope that gives some info. Hello, female Izuku Midoriya. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you. Studio room is probably brighter than my future. Come on, Jam. Don't say that. If the college Micah pushed through with his career shift to multimedia arts, what would you think happens to current Micah? That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, that's a huge question. I even after finishing my master's in clinical mental health counseling, when I moved to San Diego, I went there unemployed and just planned on finding a job while I was over there, and I didn't for a while. You know, I moved to San Diego and it was months before I could find anything. And for a while there, I was like, maybe I should expand my search. And so I ended up applying to some jobs with, like as an editor, I guess, more or less, like either doing AV and editing for a particular company or working for an editing studio, I guess. So I applied to a few places, almost got a job at one of them. Glad that I didn't get that job, but I almost got one there. And luckily something popped in my search for a therapy job. So life could have ended up very differently for me, but it didn't. Anyway. Let's see here. Your screen is blue. She switched to green for any reason. Great question. So blue and green, your screen can be literally any color. All you're doing is you're keying that particular color. Blue was the standard for a long time, and frankly, it's still used in, you know, major films today. It's still used in plenty of studios around the world. I suppose the advantage to using a green screen versus a blue screen is you're less likely to have a bright green color like that. And so if you're keying out this color, it will key out anything that looks like this, right? And so if you have a blue screen, you know, I've got blue eyes, so there's the potential that it'll key out my eyes and you'll be able to see through them. Or if I wear a blue shirt, then it'll key that out and it'll look like my body is somewhat invisible. I don't have a shirt this colored, right? And my eyes aren't this color, and I would be hard pressed to find something that matches that. So that's why a lot of people have switched to the sort of lime green, or not, it doesn't have to be lime green, but just green screen generally. So lighting's always a pain for me too. Usually shoot grainy 400 ISO plus, even if strong lights used. It's seriously comforting to see I'm not alone in the struggle. Man, it is a constant struggle. I so wish, you know, the camera that I want. Let me show you this. Let me show you the camera that I want to get. It's too expensive. It's too much for me right now. But if I had my way, this is what I get. It's the Lumix, which is Panasonic, Lumix S1H, mirrorless camera, full frame, right? So we're not talking about micro four thirds. Awesome low light, shoots 6K, right? Just really great camera overall. Seems like this is the only mirrorless camera that Netflix allows you to use to film any media that goes on their website, platform. I don't know, what would you call it? Anyway, all the other cameras are much bigger, bulkier, that sort of thing. Actually, if you saw Bo Burnham's Inside, his latest special, that's the camera that he used to film the entire thing, and they look beautiful, right? Like the lighting is amazing in and of itself, but then I was pretty impressed by the low light functionality of of his camera. So yes, it does depend on your clothing color. Let's see. Use high ISO too. Man, what is it with the high ISO? Why can't we get nice low light cameras, right? Man. Amanda DeCat, I'm glad that you're here, by the way. Easier to bring back details from higher ISO photos, but so much grain. Yeah, I know. You got it. Or do you shoot in RAW? Talk about photos. Anyway, all right. But that's the camera that I would like to get someday. Maybe when they've come out with like 3 other models that are better and it ends up being used on the market or something. Okay, so we're done with this first clip. That entire scene is just one shot and we're done. Now we have this little clip here, and what I'm gonna do is bring this over because this is actually gonna go before I start talking. So what's going to happen is I have this video of Rowan, my buddy Rowan over at Medlife Crisis. If you haven't checked out his channel, definitely check out his channel. He's awesome. Very, very funny guy. And he was kind enough to give me permission to use his little skit thing in my video. And what I'm going to do is pretend to be watching his... Oh, shoot. Now, see, this is the issue with not being able to see where... Okay, so it's there, right? So I turn it off. Let's see if I actually end up grabbing this drink here. Anytime, Micah. Anytime, there we go. Wonderful. Let's cut it. I don't know where I'm gonna need the cut exactly, so we'll make it long for now. I won't need it that long. So I was looking this up. Let's see, how long do we need it to be? Maybe right there. I don't think we need it to be incredibly long, but here's what we're gonna do. I was looking up, so I used to have an app for my phone where it would put a green screen right on the phone, on the screen. It would fill up the whole screen, and it even had markers so that you could do your tracking. Ideal, you know, that's like, oh, sweet, that's perfect. For whatever reason, the app discontinued. It got removed off the app store and it got deleted from my phone. Whatever, not a big deal. I'm sure I could find another one. And so I go online and search, like, you know, what's a good free green screen app for your phone. And I saw all of these video people, all these editors, saying, for the love of God, do not use a green screen on your phone. And apparently, it's pretty bad form to do that, because what happens is the green bleeds, you know, the light will bleed out of the edge of the phone, and it ends up being kind of hard to mess with that and make it look nice, and also to get sharp edges on your screen. And so what they suggested was literally filming it like this, where it's a locked phone, and what happens now is you track your phone, right? I'll have to find proper tracking points in order to do this, and then you put your video on top of it so that it moves with the phone properly, and then you set it to screen mode, and that's kind of funny that, like, it's called screen mode and it's on a screen. Totally unrelated, I think. But what happens is, once you use screen mode, you preserve the reflection on the phone, which I think is pretty cool. So you get to keep that reflection, right? You see the top of my head right here, which just makes it look a little bit more realistic. And you don't have problems with bleed, and you can literally drop it wherever you want. So that's what we're going to be doing. Hopefully it doesn't just like totally fail. Luckily, this is like a few seconds worth of footage, and if I really needed to reshoot it, I could do that, you know, no problem, and it would be fine. So, couldn't you add a few stickers to the screen to make it easier to track? You could, and I thought about that actually. Great point. I thought about adding a little bit of tape or something. You know, I have green tape, and I thought like, ooh, maybe I should put that on the edge so that I have something to track. I decided against that just because of the reflection piece. I didn't want there to be like one small section where you're like, why does that look weird, right? Why is the rest of the phone totally, you know, have this nice reflection, and then there's like one little X where something is off, where there is no reflection, that sort of thing. So I decided to go without. You know, if you look at this, let's zoom in. Oh, what happened? There we go. So if we zoom in on this footage, you know, you've got enough tracking points here. You could do this little dot here. I've got a crack in my phone right up here, so we could track that. You could even do corner, 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 right? There's plenty of spots. You know, it's not the best tracking points in the world, I'll give you that. But even this, you know, it seems small, but you've got a little like white spot here, a white spot there. The computer will probably do just fine with that. So I'm confident that it will work out. Okay. So we've finished ordering those pieces. So what'll happen is you'll see this, it'll swap to being on the phone, and you'll see the rest of the ad. I'll grab the drink, take a drink, and maybe right about here, I'll transition to this, right? Maybe that's what we'll do actually. So then this would be there. Let's just see how that plays. Nope, a little bit too long. Right there. Like that. Yeah, that matches up. Huh, interesting. Is there multiple versions of screen effects such as multiply or lighten for you to play around with? Yes, all of the same things that you're talking about that you have like in Photoshop or whatever, multiply, lighten, color dodge, you know, all these things. You can apply that same effect or whatever to your footage in After Effects, not here. Why not have Rowan displayed on the phone while filming so you don't have to track anything? Great question. The reason for that is because, first off, getting timing right is a pain in the ass, and I don't really want to deal with that. And secondly, phone screens notoriously look pretty awful when you're filming them. You know how I was talking about how much light I needed in order to make this look somewhat normal or natural? My phone screen would look super dark compared to all the light that you've got coming in from other sources. So you'd have all these really bright lights, and then my phone, you'd be like, what does that say? You know, what's on the screen? So better to just not even mess with that, and instead add it in post. You could do that, you know, and if your phone is bright enough, you can get away with it. It's probably an easier way to go about it, but I didn't want to mess with it. It seemed like too much work. Funny enough, this is less work, right, to add it in post, but it will actually be less work for me. So, okay. Let's cut this. All right. So now we're getting to the first shot that I ended up filming, which you can see a lot of footage, right? And we're not going to be using most of this. So we're going to have to scrub through this stuff and find what's actually useful. Look at Bill, he's just hanging out.
In the late 90s, Justin Kruger and David Dunning started conducting...
Okay, this one I actually do need to use because I had one shot to cut this lemon, juice it, do a bunch of different actions, and so I literally do need to keep this first shot, which is nice. I like that Bill's in the shot. It's kind of fun. Okay, cut that there right after I open my eyes again.
In the late 90s, Justin Kruger and David...
Let's increase this audio so you can actually hear it. Let's do 5.
Dunning started conducting a few tests. You see, they were perplexed by a recent bank robbery. A man named MacArthur Wheeler walked into 2 Pittsburgh banks and robbed them in broad daylight without trying to disguise his face or hide himself in any way. Unsurprisingly, he was arrested shortly after surveillance footage went out on the nightly news. After the police brought him into the station later on, they played him the tapes from the bank that clearly showed his face.
Okay. It's kind of gross though, right? Like the lemon noise. I didn't plan on making this like an ASMR video. But here we have all this like squishing going on with the lemon. Look, because the microphone is right here, right? That's what that is. I didn't want to mess with trying to get it out of frame because I'm in the kitchen. The kitchen is pretty empty, except for, but it's also large, big open room. And so sound just ping pongs off of every wall and there's nothing to absorb it. And so I purposefully put the microphone closer so that I could get clearer audio, hopefully with fewer echoes in the background, because I don't want all that reverb. But the problem is, since it's on the table, it's so close to where I'm squeezing this lemon that it sounds a bit gross. Whatever. People will get over it.
And he was perplexed. He was in disbelief. And he said, "But I wore the juice." Sadly, but also hilariously, apparently he thought that squirting some lemon juice on himself before entering into the bank would erase his face and make it invisible to the cameras. Unfortunately, that's not how this works, right? But why did he think this? Well, apparently, he was familiar enough with the idea of using lemon juice as an invisible ink that he thought that this would make him invisible to the cameras as well.
Okay, I think I ended up redoing this sort of section here later on to make it a bit faster, a bit cleaner. Let's see here.
Unfortunately, that's not how this works, right? But why did he think this? Well, apparently, he was familiar enough.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah.
Enough lemon juice as an invisible ink that he thought that this would make him invisible to the cameras as well.
Okay, so I set my arms on the table and it ended up like messing with the camera. I'm not even sure how that happened because the camera wasn't touching the table at all. So that's a little bit frustrating, but we can probably stabilize that in post as well. All right, so I end up doing this again. Let's see how many. I do this a few times to try to I think, is this the final take or do I do it again? Okay, yeah, that's the last time that I do it.
Would also make his face invisible to the cameras. Would also.
So I end up redoing this because I'm trying to make this smooth, but I don't know if it'll actually line up here, so let's find out. This is Premiere then. Do you tend to take your project into After Effects after an export? No. What I'll do, here I can kind of show you. It's really simple, really easy. So within Premiere, this is the wonderful thing about the Adobe suite that I think it has a leg up compared to some other softwares, is that it's all integrated, right? So if I had a Photoshop file, I could just drag and drop that into Premiere, into After Effects, and it would work just fine. Same thing with an Illustrator file. But also, when I'm working in Premiere here, if I have a, we're going to end up bringing this into After Effects anyway, so I might as well just do it now. If I right click on it, I can click Replace with After Effects Composition, right? And what that will do is it will bring that file literally over in After Effects. And here we are in After Effects. You probably didn't even notice. Just such an easy transition. But it is slightly different. And now I can mess with this file inside of our new software. And this is what I was talking about before. The scale and position. Where are the keyframes? They're like totally disappeared. Well, I'm not gonna mess with it right now. Oh, that's right, because we moved it. Here, hang on. Let's do this. There we go. Boom. Oop, that didn't work. Oop. My keyframes keep disappearing. Let's move them over here. Zoom way in. Move them right at the beginning. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is turn on Easy Ease. And we'll do the same thing over here too, actually. There we go. Hello, Bijlez? Bilez? How do you pronounce your name? I'm taking notes. For real, that's so much simpler. Well, that's good. I'm glad that this is educational and informative. So yeah, so now I can edit it in After Effects as I so please. But we're still doing stuff in Premiere, so I'm gonna keep working there. So what we just did, we had this section. Where does this next one start?
Would also make his face invisible to the cameras. That is, unless someone would also make his face invisible to the cameras.
Okay, I think that's where I'd want to stop.
Unfortunately, that's not how, but also hilarious. Before entering into the bank, erase his face and make it invisible to the cameras. Unfortunately, that's not how this works, right? But why did he think this? Well, apparently, he was familiar enough with the idea of using lemon juice as an invisible ink that he thought that this would make him invisible to the cameras as well.
It's not great. It's not great, folks. It's not great. It's not great. Okay.
That is as an invisible ink
that he thought that this would make him invisible to the cameras as well. That is, unless someone decided to take an iron to his face.
Okay. All right. Well, it's not lining up great. Let's just put it that way. I thought that I had remembered the action that I was doing leading up to this. I was kind of in a rush while I was filming this first part. It's pronounced like B-gels, despite the actual spelling. Nice. Well, welcome to the stream, B-gels. Happy to have you. I don't know, guys. Maybe we'll just have to... I don't know. I'll figure it out later.
Lemon juice as an invisible ink, that he thought that this would make him invisible.
Maybe if I start there, and then I bring this back slightly. What does that look like?
Unless someone would also make his face invisible to the cameras. That he thought that this would make him invisible to the would also make his face invisible ink, as an invisible ink. Would also make his face
Don't love it. Don't love it, guys. All right. It's fine. We'll figure this out at a later point. What I'm just going to do is just cut that up. We'll come back to it later on.
someone to
Let's do this.
would also make his face invisible to the cameras. That is, unless someone decided to take an iron to his face.
It actually wasn't for that long.
Well, that's supposed to say wow, but I guess it doesn't work that well as an invisible ink either. They make it look so easy online. But from this unfortunate situation, Dunning and Kruger wondered to themselves, do incompetent people not realize how incompetent they really are? Do inept people think that they're doing just fine? To answer these questions, they devised a test. They wanted to know if people who are less skilled know it. So they got 65 college students to answer a 30-item questionnaire where they rated jokes.
Okay. We're gonna cut somewhere.
Test. They wanted to know if people who are less skilled know it. So who are less skilled know it.
Cut there. Sorry, I kind of got lost in my own head there. I was just kind of frustrated about the fact that this wasn't lining up, these two different takes that I was doing. I'll figure something else out. Maybe I could add like a transition or something where, because part of the issue is, right, what I normally will do is I'll have, you know, our far out shot, and then I'll push in, right? So we'll go from here to, let's say 90. And now let's do 80. Okay. And like that, right?
Would make him invisible. Would also make his face invisible. He thought that this something like that, right?
He thought that this would also make his face invisible to the cameras. That is, unless someone decided to take an iron to his face. Make him invisible to the cameras. The cameras. So that kind of lines up. See, I go from like holding the iron to not holding the iron. But if I do a little like transition or something, maybe it'll be okay. I don't know. All right. I'll tell you what though, folks, it's getting a bit late. So I think I'm going to call it here in terms of for streaming. So I appreciate everybody who's been joining and hanging out with me. What we're going to do is probably pick this back up later in the week. I might even stream again tomorrow. It sort of depends on how things end up in terms of my schedule and everything. I wouldn't mind doing that. I'd probably have to focus in quite a bit in order to get a lot done. But I don't know, we've made some decent progress in terms of getting things started. There's a lot still to do. But yeah, I'm glad that you like it so far, John. I'm pretty happy with how things have been going so far. And yeah, I agree, Play the Mind. It's been awesome hanging out. And anyway, I really appreciate y'all coming and joining the stream. It's always fun to hang out with people and get feedback as I'm doing work. You know, it just makes the experience a whole lot more engaging for me, and I don't know, helps me feel connected to the folks who actually are watching the videos. So I appreciate you guys for coming and hanging out with me. Real quick, I've been saying this practically every stream, but it's worth mentioning. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, I am also streaming this on Twitch, and I do more than just video editing and neurotransmissions related stuff over on Twitch too, on Twitch as well. So if you want to come join me over there, let me put the link in the chat. Oh, that didn't really link, did it? Let's try this. There you go. Now that's clickable. Feel free to follow me over there, and you'll see when I play like video games, or if I'm just like hanging out and talking, that sort of thing. I'm trying to. Oh my gosh, it's begun. Words. Thanks for following. Appreciate that. It's a good time over on Twitch. I'm starting to do more over there and sort of build up, you know, just streaming a little bit. You know, it's mostly just for fun. So anyway, feel free to check that out if that's a platform that you use and that you enjoy using. Anything else worth mentioning? No, I think that's it. Appreciate all of you. Looking forward to working more on this video. I think it'll be a fun one. And until next time, have a good one. Bye.